Chillos, welcome back, people. It's the Critic Corp. I am Toke. I'm here to give you guys that review today on the Wes Anderson short film that came out a few hours ago today called The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. And it was a pretty interesting story. I guess it was based on true events as well. It was about this dude that was pretty wealthy, a wealthy gambler, and he figured out how to use a certain talent to fucking see without pretty much using his eyes. And he used it to read cards at the casino and come up. Like, came the fuck up, man. Like, millions, billions. Like, he came up pretty tough. And I guess the dude real name is not obviously to be published or whatnot, but so they just told they told the writer from the start, from the get-go, just say Henry Sugar. We pretty sure it'll get, it'll come to surface soon enough, but for now, just go with Mr. Henry Sugar and shit. But yeah, man, he came across this book that he's, ends up stealing, obviously. But he comes across this book that had, the information on how to, see without using your eyes, pretty much. And the story pretty much was like short but very descriptive, as as Wes Anderson would usually do. And pretty much the instructions of the whole talent was to, concentrate to a certain point on one item and one item only. And pretty much if you focus hard enough, you'll be able to stimulate the conscious mind and, be able to fucking focus on any singular object you choose, of your choosing. And you should be able to do that for roughly about 3.5 minutes. Once you got it down, once you figured it out and mastered it fully. But the tricky thing is this process is not, not something a common person can learn. It generally takes the ordinary person about 20 to 30 years to master it. And of hard work and just practicing the diligent of daily efforts and whatnot of that shit. Like, you really gotta put in time to master this shit. And the story in the book was about this dude named Imdad Khan who mastered it in fucking 17 years. It took him 17 years to learn that shit. It was played by Ben Kingsley too. Old boy that played Mandarin. And Iron Man and shit. Fucking Trevor, and Shang-Chi. But it was a story. The story was on him, and the dude that played Henry Sugar was Benedict Cumberbatch. Doctor Strange. He's the wealthy gambler dude that took the book, read the shit, and it ended up taking him even shorter. He like dove in, dedicated full commitment to that bitch. He did what? I think it only took him about 3 years or so. So he like instantly went to the Nino and started racking that shit up, bro. Racking that shit up tough. And just off blackjack and shit too. Some basic shit. Some simple shit. And he got to the point where he wasn't satisfied with his earnings anymore. He wasn't satisfied with what he was doing in life, the way his life was going anymore. He felt like it could, it could be much more out of this, of what he was doing. All the shit that all the money he was achieving. I feel like it could be put to so much better use. But his dumb ass first just started going outside his balcony, and throwing the money at people and shit. Thought that was fucking helpful for some dumb reason, but that was even more wasteful. And he then, after getting fucking snapped on by a fucking, a policeman about like doing that shit, like what the fuck is wrong with you? You could be putting that shit to donating to like hospitals and orphanages and all that dumb shit, Like what the fuck are you doing just throwing the money out of your roof balcony and shit at people? I could arrest you for that dumb shit. The fuck? How'd you even earn this money? Who are you? What's your name? Like just grilling this nigga. And he obviously took that advice and ran with it, man. He got a lot of money, like over 50,000 pounds, because I guess it was generated out of England or whatever, wherever the money means pounds. But yeah, he ended up, just started donating that shit and going from fucking, place to place, Nino to Nino, all over, changing his name, setting up a dude to do a disguise for him, got an accountant even to manage all this shit, like, and sent this straight to hospitals and orphanages and whatnot. And, like I said, this shit's based on a true story. So given that fun fact, like, it's crazy that they don't want the dude name to be surfaced, the real name. But at the same time, I get it, because, like, the shit that he did to obtain that money can't be, it can't be released like that to the public. And I'm pretty sure it's been, because this happened back in what, the early 1900s or whatever, or mid 1900s. So, and it's 2023, so this shit's now just getting released to the public about, a dude that can see without using his eyes type of shit, and what he did to do it, to manipulate his mind to do it. So, yeah, he later on died at like the age 63, I believe, from a pulmonary fucking embolism. And it was funny because they said he could see that shit. He literally could see that shit too. He could see that shit happening. But he fulfilled all his duties that he felt that he needed to fulfill, and he was welcoming his death, He didn't really care. He did what he had to do already and proved his position on Earth, I guess, But yeah, like I said, it was a dope little short film. I guess it's supposed to be a few more dropping as this week goes on, so stay tuned for those ones as well. Leave some comments, like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought about this fucking little short story from Wes Anderson. And I will be back tomorrow for Jiu-Jitsu. Toodles.